is one of 25 children left without their fathers after Extortion 1-7. So this month, one former Navy SEAL is planning a great leap to help kids like Cash. Michael Sorelli plans to raise funds for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation by attempting to skydive onto Mount Everest. Michael joins us now to discuss his jump. We should note he's also the author of The Talent War. And we're fortunate this morning to be joined by Gold Star spouse Carrie Mills. She's Cash's mom, and that's actually where I want to start. Carrie and Michael, good morning to you both. We appreciate having you. Carrie, help us understand the importance of the support that you've received from the military community and people like Michael, and what the Special Operations Warrior Foundation has meant for Cash.
Cash was so young, so he doesn't actually have a memory of his father or the event that occurred in August 2011. However, the support that came after that has been integral in his education and fundamental in his growth. The Special Operations Warrior Foundation has been kind enough to help him learn a second language at such a young age, as it hasn't been offered for him in elementary school at this point in time. So they have been willing to pay for him to learn a second language, and done so without any hesitation.
And Carrie, what did you think when you found out that Michael was planning this expedition to jump out of a plane onto one of the highest peaks, the highest peak in the world?
Well, Michael has been a longtime family friend and a teammate of Matt's, and he has always been there no matter what. And so something incredible about our community is that there's never an end to the support. And so when Michael told me that he was going to do this incredible and dangerous event, I was honored to help and support him in any way, shape, or form, especially to give back to this wonderful foundation.
Michael, we have to note that personal connection between you and Matt, and I'm wondering if he heard that you were attempting this, what do you think he might say?
He'd probably say what most SEALs say to each other when we've got something big. He would say, "Don't suck, don't screw it up." I smile when I think of Matt. And I smile when I think of all these guys now. There's time for tears, but Legacy Expeditions is meant for just that, to uphold their legacy. Men that died for you and I, for something they believed in this country, but more importantly, the potential of what you and I can become, and we need to remember that every day.
And what message do you think that this attempt sends to kids like Cash, kids that look up to you to see, to look for the legacies of their fathers and mothers, your brothers and sisters in arms?
I think it sends a message that you're loved. That you're loved by all of us who are still here. More importantly, you're loved by your fathers, and that they made their sacrifice so that you can have a life of opportunity here in the United States.
And quickly, Michael, if you could, how can viewers at home help the foundation?
Yes, absolutely. All the money that we're trying to raise goes to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. So if you go to legacyexpeditions.net, there's a link. And again, please make a donation. All the money is going to funding the education of these children that lost their fathers in the war.
Michael and Carrie, we appreciate you both. We appreciate your service and your continued message to the country to support all these heroes. Thank you so much. Stay with CNN. We'll be right back.
That was fun.
Alexa, play our dance playlist.
Your playlist, dance. Alexa, turn on the living room lights. Turning on lights.
Alexa, can you pause time?
Let's just enjoy the moment.
Hurry in for exceptional offers on the new BMW X3 with Alexa built in. Introducing the new City Custom Cash Card, a different kind of card that
that rewards Dan where his spending is trending. Just ask stepping outside his comfort zone, Dan.
I don't know where the hole for this is.
Or fourth time streaming that period drama, Dan?
You just made me miss her best line, so now I'm gonna have to start it again.
Even insisted he didn't need directions, Dan.
Okay, I'm not lost, I'm exploring. That said, do you know where I am?
From select gas, streaming, travel, and more. Earn 5% cash back that automatically adjusts to your top eligible spend category. Up to $500 spent each billing cycle. Turn hard-working days into happy nights. With the #1 selling brand in America, Real Steel. Find yours at over 10,000 local steel dealers.
Welcome to Allstate. A place where everyone lives life well protected. And even when things go a bit wrong, we got your back. Here, things work the way you wish they would, and better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click or call for a lower auto rate today.
The wait is finally over.
In trouble?
Constantly.
This is it.
This is it. No time to die. Rated PG-13.
Politicians say they want to negotiate medicine prices in Medicare. But make no mistake, what politicians mean is that they'll decide which medicines you can and can't get, regardless of what your doctor prescribes, regardless of which medicine has been working, regardless of what new treatments become available. And it could even lead to long waits in Medicare for new treatments and cures. Call Congress. Tell them not to play doctor with your medicine. Paid for by pharma.
With moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, your plans can change at any time. Your head wants to do one thing, but your gut says, not today. GI-focused Entyvio is made for this. Entyvio acts specifically in the GI tract to prevent an excess of white blood cells from entering and causing damaging inflammation. Entyvio has helped many patients achieve long-term relief and remission. It may help you too. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. Although unlikely, a risk of PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. If other treatments haven't worked well enough, ask your doctor about Entyvio. If you're experiencing financial hardship during these trying times, Takeda may be able to help.
Your mom's gotta go.
She's family.
She's using my Old Spice moisturizer with shea butter, and she's wearing my robe.
We're out. This is wealth. This is worth. That takes wealth. But this is worth. And that's actually worth more than you think. Don't open that. Wealth is important, and we can help you build it. But it's what you do with it that makes life worth living. Principle, for all it's worth. Your holiday gift orders may take a little longer to reach your doorstep this year. So why is this happening, Boris? Well, the economy, as it bounces back, a labor shortage means that many suppliers are still struggling to keep up with all this pent-up demand.
Yeah, good luck explaining that to your kids when they're wondering where their gifts are on Christmas, right? Now, dozens of cargo ships are stuck off the coast of California at the country's two biggest ports. CNN's Kyung Wah was there riding along with the U.S. Coast Guard to give us a first-hand look.
So we got a second crew passengers.
Deputy Field Civil Scores right time.
To understand the problem on the ground,
5423 takeoff.
you first need to see it from the air.
We're flying right over the anchorages just south of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach.
This is where the global supply chain meets the U.S. economy, says Coast Guard Commander Stephen Bohr.
It's record-breaking. It's unprecedented. There are more ships than there are parking spots. We are effectively operating as
ships as far as the eye can see carries more than half the made-in-Asia items purchased by the American consumer.
You're looking at all of the electronics. You're looking at all of the home goods. You're looking at all of the things that people are looking forward to buy this coming holiday season.
Zero ships usually stay parked here, but on this day, Commander Board counts 55 in the ports and more drifting further out in the Pacific. While worst here, the backup is at all West Coast U.S. ports.
What does that indicate to you about what's happening in the supply chain?
You know, I think everybody can see that things are slowing down.
Slowing down and piling up at sea and at the ports of entry. This is what happens when a global economy snaps back after the COVID slump of 2020. American consumers are back, buying with force, but the supply chain is struggling to catch up.
We need to have an Amazon state of mind in this industry. By that I mean Amazon changed everything.
While shoppers click 24 hours a day, factories in Asia are still stopping due to COVID. Then in the U.S., national labor shortages and limited work hours. The Port of Long Beach is just now experimenting with round-the-clock operations.
What this is a wake-up call for all of us in this industry to realize you can't operate with the model of yesterday.
The goal, cut the wait time for truck drivers, the next link of the supply chain, moving containers out of the port.
Every day, about 5-6 hours in the harbor. You have to wait like 6 hours.
6 hours?
6 or 8.
I was in there for 9 hours.
9 hours Ruben Ponce lost that he could have been moving merchandise.
It means I'm making less money. Yeah, because I can't do as many rounds.
National data shows there is a truck driver shortage, but Ponce says the problem is even more basic than that.
So now the port is backed up, we're backed up, the truckers were backed up, everyone's backed up, and it's just a big problem.
So it's like a chain reaction.
Exactly.
Delayed trucks means delays at warehouses, like Canton Food Company in Los Angeles.
I have about 8 containers out in the harbor somewhere, are from China and Vietnam, filled with food, still just waiting.
That means for this warehouse, empty shelves with no date to fill them. Basic economics are at play. Scarcity drives up prices.
So it's almost doubled in price.
I would say maybe at least 70%.
Once the cheese is ready,
Prices for ingredients restaurant owner Ricardo Mosqueda has to pay.
all those different products that you have to substitute, that you have to change, now 30% more, 50% more, 100% more.
This La Taqueria brand location operates in a renovated shipping container. The supplies Mosqueda needs sit out at sea in the same metal bins. A cruel irony after barely keeping his restaurant open through the pandemic.
We worry as far as, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what's next.
How long are these ships going to be floating out here?
I really can't say how long they're going to be like this. I think we're all going to wait and see how long this shakes out.
Ken Long, thank you so much for that report. Our next guest understands these supply chain disruptions all too well. I'm joined now by Jay Foreman, CEO of the toy company Basic Fun, maker of the iconic Tonka trucks, something that all toddlers worldwide love, including mine. Jay, good morning to you. You have been in this toy business for nearly 4 decades, but you have said that you have never seen supply chain disruptions quite like this. Just explain, how bad is it?
It's as bad as you can imagine. Usually, there's about 10 or 15 steps in the chain to get a toy produced and get it to the store shelf. And in any particular year, maybe there's 1 or 2 disruptions. Could be high oil prices, could be a backup at the port. But this year, every single one of the factors that it takes to bring in a product and import a product is upside down right now. We've never seen this before, and it's delaying the delivery of products, which usually take about 5 weeks to get from a factory overseas to your store shelf to 10 or more. The way to think about it is, if you've ever been to one of the big city airports and you see the taxis and there's thousands of them or hundreds of them waiting to file into 2 lanes to pick up the passengers, passengers. That's sort of what it's like out in the harbor in Los Angeles, the railheads in Chicago, and the warehouses all over the country. Everything is backing up right now.
Well, and this bottleneck means that you're having to make some pretty strategic decisions about what toys to ship and sadly which ones to leave behind. You know, we're still weeks away from the holidays, but what's your advice to parents who are worried about ordering gifts in time for the season?
The advice is simple. There's going to be lots of product that you can buy in the market for the rest of the Christmas season, but the things you want the most, the top 5 or 10 things on your Christmas list, are going to be very hard to find because everybody is looking for those same hot toys or hot electronic items. So the advice is shop early for the top of your list. Don't expect as many bargains as you usually see because the cost of freight has gone up 5 times, and that has to be absorbed somewhere. And retailers are very reluctant to raise prices going into Christmas. So what they may do is they may offer less discounting. But really the bargain this year is, can I get it? Or then can I get it for 20% less? Shop early, that's what I'd say.
Shop early and fewer of those coupon codes that we all love with so many of our online orders. So, you know, I want to talk about some of the solutions here. Your company makes about 80% of your products in China, I know, and shipping products from overseas is obviously the thing that's causing so much of this disruption. So what do you say to someone who thinks, you know what, just move production to the United States?
Yeah, listen, it's a really natural... The problem is there's not enough labor. We have unemployment at 4.8%. Trucking companies can't find truck drivers. Fast food chains can't find people to work. So if you build factories here, for example, to make something like this Care Bear, but you don't have anybody to manufacture them, that's a problem. So you really can't have it all. You can't close the border to the low-skill labor and then expect factories to open up. You can't not provide, child care and allow moms to go to work and expect there's plenty of labor around to manufacture light industrial products, whether it's clothes or toys. So there's so many problems that are going on at the same time that contribute to preventing building more factories in the United States. So, and the biggest one is we have an infrastructure bill in Washington on the table that needs to get signed. There's $17 billion in there for ports. You saw how clogged the ports are. There's $32 billion in it for transportation upgrades and infrastructure. That we really need. That's going to be really important to business all over America and the American worker as well.
Well, and this just shows you how the dysfunction in Washington has that sort of trickle-down effect to folks like you, small business owners, large business owners even, who are really struggling right now.
It sure does.
Jay Foreman, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Coming up, a power struggle in Idaho. Why the state's lieutenant governor keeps trying to pull a power play every time the governor leaves the state. We'll be right back.
You said that it couldn't be done, but you managed to pack a record 1.1 trillion transistors into this chip.
Oh, hi. I invested in Invesco QQQ, a fund that invests in the innovators of the NASDAQ 100, like you.
You don't have to be a circuit design engineer to help push progress forward.
Can I hold a chip?
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. I've made progress with my mental health. So when I started having unintentional body movements called tardive dyskinesia, I ignored them. But when the twitching and jerking in my face and hands affected my day-to-day, I finally had to say, it's not okay. It was time to talk to my doctor about Austedo. She said Austedo helps reduce TD movements in adults, while I continue with most of my mental health medications.
Austedo can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, fears, feelings, or have suicidal thoughts. Common side effects include inflammation of the nose and throat, insomnia, and sleepiness. Don't take Austedo if you have liver problems, are taking Rezapine, tetrabenazine, or valbenazine. Austedo may cause irregular or fast heartbeat, restlessness, movements mimicking Parkinson's disease, fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, and sweating.
Talk to your doctor about Austedo. It's time to treat TD. TD is not okay. Visit askforaustedo.com.
This is our collective history. Together is ours to protect. For new histories to be written. New records shattered. Legacies forged. CrowdStrike. We stop breaches.